this 400 million, these people who manage these accounts, they must be investigated, Mr. Speaker. And I want to challenge SACC, Mr. Speaker. It is an independent body under Chapter 15 on independent commissions. But the performance of SACC is below par. You know, Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. I'm surprised. In fact, we should have recommended DCI to investigate these individuals and prosecute them to Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Speaker. Because the biggest problems we face in this country is because of SACC inaction. The other day, we are protectors of devolution under Article 96, is to protect. But the biggest threat to devolution today is corruption, Mr. Speaker. But SACC is doing absolutely nothing, whether they are in cahoots with the offenders of the law of corruption. And you remember one of the biggest campaign strategies of President Kibaki in 2002 was zero tolerance on corruption. And in fact, Parliament then, after 2002 general elections, they enacted Anti-Crimes and Economics Act of 2003, Mr. Speaker. But today, the biggest threat to development, to functionality of devolution, and even success of this case is non-inaction of SACC. Mr. Speaker, and coincidentally, SACC has normally been led by religious leaders. So I don't understand. Because this 400 million, Mr. Speaker, as we talk today, we should be told that there are recovery proceedings. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in the fight against corruption such as this, we need, Mr. Speaker, one, to arrest these people. Then the ODPP begins recovery proceedings. The only way to finish corruption in this country is when 400 million were being stolen. You also jail people, do recovery proceedings, and ensure interest is paid to the money that is stolen. If this 400 million was stolen 25 years ago, Mr. Speaker, these people should pay close to 1 billion to Kenyans so that we punish and ensure the corruption is punished and banished in this republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore I challenge the SACC to do their job. If they need more resources, Parliament can always allocate and appropriate enough resources to SACC. And that is why, in fact, we need to form, maybe, in fact, in future, Mr. Speaker, the SACC and DCI should work together. Because sometimes white-collar crimes are not easy to fight in this country, Mr. Speaker, because of money laundering. These people, you know, tracing of the money, the issue of money laundering is becoming a problem in the fight against corruption, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 3 on the issue of these workers is that the issue of statutory deductions and terminal dues. This is an employment under Labor Relations Act, and the Employment Act is very clear that terminal dues must be paid. Mr. Speaker, I think this is long overdue. The issue of statutory deduction and to Maziwa SACCO. Mr. Speaker, there is a problem with our SACCOs in this country, because most of the SACCOs are collapsing with the people's money, as you are aware. And that is why we passed the SACCO Societies Act, Mr. Speaker. It is now SACCO Societies Regulatory Authority must be called to order, or what we call SASRA, because it's their duty to ensure the SACCOs are properly regulated. The fact that Maziwa SACCO, Mr. Speaker, took money that belonged to the people and belonged to many people, Mr. Speaker, is a very unfortunate, and they should have paid, Mr. Speaker, because this was Kenya shillings. Provident Fund was Kenya shillings 204,471,555 shillings and 20 cents, plus interest, were Provident Fund that were paid to Maziwa SACCO. We have a problem with SACCOs in this country, Mr. Speaker. We need ZASRA to be on the lookout to ensure SACCOs that do not comply with the regulations that are provided by the law, Mr. Speaker, should and must be provided for. And, Mr. Speaker, it brings me to the point of statutory deductions. Mr. Speaker, many counties, and by the way, this is how people are stealing money. Because we were asking control our budget, and I know that the distinguished senator of Narok knows this. When you request money to control our budget, you don't request in net, you request in gross. So what counties are doing, they do statutory deductions, and they don't remit to the relevant statutory, including KRA, NHIF, share now, NSSF, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy the President has done something about NSSF. For the first time, the pension has grew by more 1,000 plus growth, unlike for the last 60 years, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of statutory deductions, and I want to request the EACC and DCI, or people who deal with Economic Crimes Act, where counties deduct the money, but they don't remit. That's an offense, that's corruption, Mr. Speaker. Because how do you take the employee's money and you don't remit? It means it has been stolen, and that is 204 million shillings plus was stolen, and they should be ensured that they recover that money with the interest. This should to the employees, and therefore Maziwa SACCO and all the directors, because there was what we call culpability, dereliction of duty by the directors of Maziwa SACCO, they must be brought to order. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to SASRA to be on the lookout and ensure that the regulatory authority should be in phase, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, curiously in the morning, I was following the distinct senator of Makueni, and he said a very strange statement that I've never heard in my life. He said it is better to pay these employees than to give Nyota to young people, to give Inua Jamii to our old men and women in the villages. That is the worst statement I've ever heard from a leader, Mr. Speaker. All tremendous respect. Does it mean our old men and women do not have right to get Inua Jamii? Does it mean the young people, and I'm happy I saw you supporting the president when he came to Garissa, and you spoke passionately on how Nyota can improve the lives of young people in Garissa County. And I want to thank the president, because Nyota program is now accessible to all Kenyans. The president has gone across the country. For the first time, the northern Kenya, which has been ignored since independence, Mr. Speaker, are now getting opportunities similar to all Kenyans, including roads, including Nyota program, where the president was in Wajir, was in Mandera, was in Garissa, your county, Mr. Speaker. We must applaud the president. And I heard somebody saying, why is the president going to give Nyota funds? That's the work of the president. You wanted the president to babysit or to drink chai and mandas in State House. The president we have wants to go. One of the role of a leader is to go and see your people and ensure they get, and that is what the president is doing, Mr. Speaker. And I want to request the senator, although, you know, these formations that we have in the country, like disunited or united opposition, I think they don't have an agenda. I think they don't have a plan. Because we need young people to be busy. The only way, Mr. Speaker, and I've always insisted, there are different categories of young people. The young people who did not go to school, but they are looking for opportunities. The young people who go to school, they want jobs. There are people who want to still go to school. So, Mr. Speaker, this issue, and I know in my culture, Mr. Speaker, I don't know, you are old wazee and women in northern Kenya. Mr. Speaker, you know, he said that Inua Jamii, which benefits old men and women, should not be given out. In my culture, if you say that, the old men can curse you. So I want to request Senator of Makueni to still come back, apologize to the old women and the youth. If he doesn't apologize, the old women and youth of Makueni should punish him in 2027 general election. And in fact, it is dangerous because old men can just stem a matter and you are cast, Mr. Speaker. So he needs to be careful. Let us, Mr. Speaker, let us compliment as leaders. So in this payment of terminal benefits, contribution to Provident Fund, Mr. Speaker, the SACCO dues and the Arambe SACCO, we saw, and I know colleagues whether they are aware of the crisis that we saw in Arambe SACCO, this issue of SASRA, they must come out. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate. There is another parastatal by government called Kenya Post and Telecommunication, Posta. The employees have not been paid up to date, Mr. Speaker. There has been delay of salaries to the Posta employees. The management and the minister concerned of ICT, I don't know, is it the former governor of Kiambu, must ensure the Posta employees are paid their dues, Mr. Speaker. It is unfair. Kenyans have school fees to pay. They have medical bills to pay. They have personal rent, Mr. Speaker, and yet they are not being paid. So the Posta, Mr. Speaker, must come and ensure that we look focus the employees. Mr. Speaker, we want, and I think, Mr. Speaker, it drives me to my final point. Mr. Speaker, there is the law that we passed, the Privatization Act of 2025, number 18 of 2025. We passed the Privatization Act. Mr. Speaker, the argument of SACCOs or government has been that there is too much expenses in our parastatals. And I heard my colleagues complaining that the government is privatizing. The reason privatization is being done, Mr. Speaker, is to allow some of these parastatals to function, including payment of the employees. One of the aspects that the Privatization Act has given into place is to ensure the process of privatization is made and per the law. What you see, the transit between KCC and UKCC Limited and the Kenya Commercial Bank must be called the Kenya Commercial Bank, who was a receiver, KCB. I know KCB is one of the established banks in this country, Mr. Speaker. They must tell us what their role. And I'm happy, the Speaker, you had said we should sit and agree on what the role KCB or Kenya Commercial Bank played in this process of the KCC, new KCC Limited, and their process in winding up and ensuring that the receivership was done at that point in time, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of Privatization Act has given into focus. I am aware, Mr. Speaker, that the government is trying to offload Safaricom shares through, and I'm happy the government is doing public participation. Safaricom shares offloading, Mr. Speaker, will assist in fundraising, among other things, infrastructure support. You are aware we are doing road from Wajir through your county to Nairobi. We need enough resources. We can not only depend on World Bank or any other. So the sale of Safaricom shares should be supported. I have seen individuals, Mr. Speaker, who want to correct government, but they don't have an alternative. Mr. Speaker, as we talk, the public debt is approaching way above 11 trillion. In the budget policy statement, Mr. Speaker, the internal public debt is close to 1 trillion Kenyan shillings in terms of the interest of domestic borrowing. We must sit as a country and say the sale of Safaricom shares is within the law. And we need to raise, at least I'm told it's more than close to 250 billion, that will ensure Mau Summit, Rironi Road is dual. Mr. Speaker, people who come from Mount Kenya, and I don't have a problem with, I traveled the other day to Murang'a. Mr. Speaker, they only use 30 minutes to be in Kenol because they are road. For us who come from Western Kenya, and I can see a number of us, we take even 2 days and sleep on the road to reach our homes because of the pathetic traffic gridlock along Mau Summit to Rironi, Mr. Speaker, or Rironi Mau Summit, and therefore the sale of Safaricom shares should, and the government should proceed. I'm happy in the public participation that has been conducted by the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. I want Kenya Pipeline Corporation, the sale of shares through initial public offer. Kenyans should buy. They should own some of these parastatals to ensure these parastatals keep making profit and ensuring that we proceed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, as I conclude, I want to applaud and ask also the counties, because SACCOs are devolved, Mr. Speaker, the county should play a role and ensure. Mr. Speaker, even as Ramadan begins,